Okay, welcome everybody. Okay, so get my screen on.
I laughed on mute, Sandy, about your joke.
Oh, I know you like it. Don't worry. I am not worried about that case. Oh, somebody else coming in. Oh, Nikki. Hi, Nikki. My presentation. Okay, can you guys see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yep, got it here.
All right, sweet. Hey, Nikki. Okay, so you would think that since I'm doing this nearly a week later from my original presentation that I would have added more slides, but what happened was I had some pretty good slides at the very beginning. And then I got really rushed at the end and it kind of tapered off. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to start off in some slides and then I'm going to move actually over into a live demo. Okay, so these are actually going to be more of a guide and then I'm going to move into it. And what I would like this to be is less of a presentation and more of an AMA, ask me anything if anybody's older than the age of like 50 in here, which none of us are, thank God. Sorry, fair housing. Okay, so anyway, this is the top 5 tools to automate your business and get your life back. You guys, if you know me, I'm all about getting your life back. Back when I was a struggling newbie realtor, I would have given anything to, you know, get new business, get more business, you know, nobody could outwork me. And it was like, well, still nobody can outwork me. But now it's like, well, damn, you know, could I get a break? And yes, you can get a break. You just have to use your time more wisely. Leverage. Okay, so these topics will be around time management, project management, automation, bots and integration, and leverage. Okay, so the first thing, the app that I love about time management or surrounding time management is Calendly. And I really should dig up like some of my old social media posts because I had Calendly for a long time and I was paying for it for way too long before I started using it purposefully. I had it, like, who didn't have Calendly or some sort of like book an appointment with me app. I had it and it's like you could schedule an appointment with me, but whoever did, right? I wasn't, I guess, forcing the issue, but also I felt weird about it or guilty about it in some way, shape, or form, but I wasn't doing it right. Okay. There's nothing wrong with being purposeful with your time. Okay. So there's a way about it, just like how, you know, we sell. I don't want to say sell ourselves. That sounds weird. So this is one page of my Calendly, but what I'm going to actually do is I'll just go into my actual Calendly here. Let's see here. Okay. So Calendly, if you're not familiar with it, you can actually have a free account and it allows you one free event. You can do like a 1.5 hour schedule thing, and that it does not cost you anything. So if you want to start with that, you can do it. Me, I'm like a junkie on everything, so I'm gonna upgrade to the paid version on everything ridiculously. I'm going to nerd out about everything, and here is how I chose to set up my Calendly. Holly, who's on the call, helped me actually change these two things. I said, like, I think it was like home buying session or home selling session. This was how I started it off. And she's like, how about seller strategy session, buyer strategy session? And this was how I had it set up. This is what we're looking for or looking at. This is actually, you know, our editing page, but the booking page, this is what it would look like to a client, you know. Initial call with sellers before we come out and see your home. So, by the way, why would I want to call the seller before I come out and see their home? Well, first of all, I want to make sure I'm not wasting my time. I want to make sure that they're not, you know, wanting 800 grand for their $300,000 house. I want to make sure they're not, you know, Dahmering me or something. So I would like to maybe have a phone call with them. And also, it's just, yeah, it's just a smart, I feel a smart use of my time. Also, when I started really putting Calendly into effect, it got really cool because somebody texted me on a Sunday night and was like, hey, one of my girlfriends, like it was a client I had just closed on the purchase of her home. And she's like, hey, one of my girlfriends is ready to list her house. And you know, it was like the super hot market where it's like, oh my God, you grab that listing right away. You know, you grab these listings and get them. And I was just like, oh my God, that's awesome. And I texted her and I'm like, would you mind texting her this link for me? I can't wait to link up with her or whatever. And sure as shit, she booked that call and it came through on the text, you know, for the next morning I was going to talk to her and I'm like, oh my God, you know what just happened? My Sunday night, I didn't have to, it's like 8:30 p.m. I didn't have to stop what I was doing and do all this, you know, we do that all the time with our time. We like have to stop what we're doing or piss our families off, all this other stuff, right? Okay, so that's my little rant on that. Buyer strategy session. If you have a preferred lender, things like that, you can make them super duper happy. Put their link, you know, their, you know, application link in there. You can start really, you know, professionalizing it up. And yeah, you really like, Daniel asked, like, do you think that having that set up adds a bit more of a professional image? Yeah, people respect you when you like command respect for your time. You know what I mean? If you go and you start like chasing these buyers around, or sellers around or things like that, they can, I don't know, they can like sense weakness or they can sniff it out and they will walk all over you or find another agent that they respect. It's one of those things. So yeah, you can, or I suggest if you have preferred lenders or things like that, you can use this as a tool to, you know, when you are co-marketing with them and things like that, you can say, hey, I could put your link in here, your application link on this booking a call, talk EXP Realty with that broker girl. Obviously, I would, you know, one of my things that I like to do is agent attraction. And so we often have times where we like to have calls with agents. And a lot of times agents would be like, hey, tell me about EXP. And I would fall down that rabbit hole too. And that was stupid as well. It should be a thing where it's like, cool, let's talk later, blah, 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 blah. Because it started to become like a thing that just got me off of my business. It got me, you know, sidetracked out of what I should be doing. And it became, you know, so my thing is being much more purposeful with your time was obviously, you guys get the point. So what do you do when you start getting more businesses? You start making sure that you separate things on your calendar into different categories. people would start to call me and say, hey, blah, 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 I'm an insurance agent. How do you do this on social media? How do you do everything that you do? And so that's when I straight up started putting out like a business strategy session. I'm like, how do I call this? What type of chat do I call this? Like, are you a random industry professional that wants advice? So I just started calling it a business strategy session. My team members can book a chat with me. My personal virtual assistants can book a chat with me. Booking me on your podcast. Oops, I meant to go to the actual booking page. I do that all the time. Booking me on your podcast, I was going to tell you guys, like, the thing that I actually do, the trick here is it forced me to have a quick bio about myself, or to make a bio, and to make sure I have my headshot easily accessible. First of all, this makes me look really important. I don't care whether people actually book you on a podcast or not. This looks really good for you. Okay. But you put your headshot here and you have your bio. It just links to, for me, just a Word doc right here. And if I ever am asked for my bio, which happens to be a lot more often than I realized would happen, I click on this all the time, or my VAs click on this all the time to send it to people. So it's just awesome. It's awesome to have that handy. Okay. And then Daniel asked, like, can you link other people's calendars to this? Could I integrate preferred realtors Calendly so people could book a pre-approval appointment? Go ahead and set up a strategy session at the same time. I don't see why not. I mean, you can link any link to anything. I don't see why not. Like workflows, and then Calendly has their own set of workflows, and then Zapier you can integrate anything with, damn near anything, I would say. Yes, it keeps going, guys. So here's the other thing. I have also casual events, like, so, hey girl, haven't seen you in forever. It's like, fine, let's go grab a drink or whatever. Or if an agent wants to talk with me or hang out with me, like, let's go grab a beer then. Let's do it over a beer or whatever, a drink or a coffee or whatever. And here's what it says on the booking page. You know, the type of meeting that's best over a drink or two, casual meeting, whether you're friend, client, colleague, or vendor. So that's what that says. Oh, by the way, so you can set the times that people can meet with you. Okay. So for instance, they can't meet with me, you know, before the times of 2 p.m. and after 5 p.m. You know what I mean? So it's like, you can't schedule a happy hour with me, you know, after or before certain times. So again, I'm very purposeful with my time. This one is book a showing, and what it is it is a one-time 45-minute thing. And I'll be honest, I don't plan on having this much longer, since I don't show houses anymore. I have other people to do that for me. But when I did show houses, this was how I had it set up. Damn it, Sandy. Did you find a house that you're excited to see? Here's a convenient way to do it. Select the time that works for you. So it's like on my calendar, I have some padding for the time to get to where I need to go. This is clearly the times that work for me. So like literally nothing else on here was going to work for me, or I wasn't going to allow them to like book that far out, clearly, you know. However, I have this set up, right? We'll book the showing ASAP and meet you at the property. Do not use this when attempting to book several showings. And then I say, reach out to us directly. So clearly this has a link to like my information. Okay, yep, that links to my, you know, here's my contact info. Here's everything on how to get a hold of me. Reach out to us directly. Okay. So that's how I set that up. You guys, I'm a genius, jeez. If I'm not gonna build myself up, who will?
Is that your, the link to your contact? Is that through Popple or is that another?
Yep, that's Popple.
Okay.
And I just actually looked it up because I was just refreshing my Apple subscriptions. It's $2.99 a month. And I have a referral link if anybody's going to use Popple. So, okay. Now, this one I actually did show in a slide to, you'd think I'll stop doing this one of these days. I did show this in a slide at my talk. When you get cold called and people want to sell you something or demo you something, there are two very specific things that I do. The first thing is, sure, I'll hear you out. Book a call with me. This is the link that I send to them. And all they have to, they will have my undivided attention. They have to pay $50 though. And my time is worth much more than $50. But if you really believe in what you're selling, you know, pay to have my attention. Nobody has ever paid to do, they get pissed off, but at least I'm not the bad guy. Like, I am willing to hear you out. The other thing that I'll do is if somebody wants to demo a platform or something and I am slightly intrigued, I will have one of my virtual assistants sit in on the demo, and then I'll have them give me the rundown and their opinion on what it's all about. So they will give me a 4-minute rundown on whatever this person took a half an hour or an hour to explain to them. And that way, you know, it cost me what, $4 to have my virtual assistant sit in for an hour on that demo. So that's all about, again, using your time wisely and leverage. Okay, 15-minute meeting. That was just when you don't need the half hour. Now here are these 3 hidden links that I've got. You don't have to have all of your calendar invites visible. So nobody can book a lunch with me or a dinner with me unless I allow them to, because I don't know if you guys noticed, but I'm really famous. So we can't be having that. So that is Calendly. Now, 2 things. Does anybody have any questions, or would anybody like me to like demo setting anything up? Does anybody like need anything more with Calendly?
I'm good. I can tinker with it later.
Cool. I will say that Calendly pissed me off because they had a referral program, and I've had like tons of like click-throughs on it, and they like got rid of their program like 6 months ago. I was like, damn it. Because I love Calendly, but yep, it gone. So that sucks. They have, you know, routing forms, workflows. So here in the workflow, by the way, that's where I set up how it's sending texts to me. So when people are booking certain things, it is sending texts. Okay. And then I also have things where it's sending Slack messages to myself and my assistants. And I think that's about it. Okay. All right, folks, that is thing number 1. Holy shit, we're already to 10:30. That's okay, because this was a biggie. That was like a biggie because time management is huge. So, all right, what's the other things? Oh yeah, my slideshow. I got to move my toolbar over here. All right, now the next slide. Trello. You guys love my Trello, don't you? Can't get enough of that. Okay. A lot of you are familiar with my Trello boards. Project management, Trello and Asana are my two favorite things, okay? So trying to see which board I'm not gonna like get kicked off of YouTube for. You know what I mean? If I put this on YouTube. So whenever I put my videos on YouTube, if they have like an address or something, my video gets taken down for bullying and harassment. So anyway, that's been fun. So anyway, so Trello, I have spent tons of man hours completely automating all kinds of systems on here. I have had, I designed, you know, some slides that would kind of show, but I can actually, I'll just run one through. What do I want to do? Let's see. Okay, so I'll just run one through on a listing real quick just to show you guys. Test, this is my fake listing. This is how I have it going, okay? Pre-listing, I basically leave nothing to the imagination for the agents or for the assistants to do. It automatically assigns all these items in this checklist as soon as a card is created. It tells somebody what and how to name the card. It tells somebody to add the location to the card. How to create the contact in KV Core, adding the property valuation, it goes on, but all these things are actual videos that show somebody how to do this item, okay? And then you can send out, you know, the questionnaire to the seller to gather all the information from the seller. Anytime I can have somebody else help me make my job easier, the seller knows their house a lot better. What upgrades did you do? What internet service are you using? What's the best one out there? You know what I mean? Especially if they're out in the boonies using some satellite shit, right? Okay. Listing presentation. So that's out in Canva land, you know, so takes them directly out there to that template. Prepare and execute the listing docs. So that gives them all the videos that they need for that. Easy offer and dot loop. Does anybody use that, by the way? I'll do a quick reel on that sometime. I feel like that'll be a good one for
We're on off Unassigned down here.
what's that?
We're on off Unassigned down here. We don't use dot.
Oh, okay. Okay. So the trigger for the next step is activate listing, finishing that checklist down here. Once that's 100% complete, what happened is the active listing checklist pulled up, and actually this card moved over automatically into this active listing column. Okay, so my active listing checklist is up, and then once we get an accepted offer, we click the accepted offer button, and it moves it over to the accepted offer category. And I have a buyer accepted offer or a seller accepted offer checklist. If I represent both, I keep both checklists, okay? So we've got these listing accepted offer checklists, and then before closing to take care of. Now, not all of these are my transaction coordinator now. You know, sometimes I have my social media manager assigned to things. And then we have the before closing checklist. And then once that's all done, I believe that that's the trigger. Yep, that's the trigger that takes me to the closing column over here. And we're down to closing. And so now it shows you everything you need to do, create your sold marketing, market closed in Paragon, so you don't get that freaking fine, right? Am I right, guys? And then, you know, you archive, you click your closed button in Trello, and then what it does, I'll show you, and then you archive your Slack channel. When you click closed, how many times can you say that? It takes it over to the closed column, or it should. That's the last thing that I automated, so it might not. That is a test. That one's not working, guys, in front of everybody. Okay, it still took it back to another board. How I had it going was routing to another board, so I actually need to have it actually going over to under this right here. It's going to start a very long column under this closed file. So how I had it before was routing to this closed and archived transactions board, which is a very long board, and it keeps track of all of my transactions. But now that I'm building these boards out and templates for other people, I have this closed column, and I want it to transfer out to this one column for everybody. So that is an example of how my brain works with Trello and project management. The reason I use both Trello and Asana for project management is because, and Karen, my assistant, cannot stand the fact that I use more than one system for project management, by the way, God bless her. Because for me, Trello is something that has a start point and a finish point. She has boards that are like, we archived that board because I'm like, I'm not using it. Let's see. She has boards that are like this, and I'm like, what the fuck is all this? Like, how would you even begin to know what you're supposed to do, right? So to me, my brain cannot comprehend Trello when it's all over the place. I need something that has a start point and an end point. Let me take this off my screen real quick and see if I can show you guys that. Okay, I can show you guys this. So for instance, I have an onboarding thing. This has a start point and an end point. You know what I mean? I have my checklist. These are the things that people like need to accomplish throughout this process. Okay. So Asana is for my random projects that need to get done, and my random standard operating procedures that need to get done, and my daily tasks and weird shit. Okay. And maybe other people can make things work in a different way, and God bless you if you can, but that is just how my brain works. So, I mean, anything you guys got, thoughts, feelings, anything you want to share? I'm all ears. All right, Zapier. I don't know whether it's Zapier or Zapier, but I'm going to call it Zapier. People are asking for a second training, and I want to give it to them because the first training that I did sucked so bad. Nothing was like working correctly. It was pissing me off. All right, so I have all these triggers set up, but what you want is you want to know what you want to automate. And Zapier was like really intimidating at first. Who already uses Zapier right now, by the way? Like, just raise your hands because I can see if you have your camera. Well, only a few of you have your cameras on. Okay, cool. All right, so Zapier, what's cool is you can have it build spreadsheets automatically for you. You can have it transfer leads into spreadsheets, into CRMs, it can build data for you. It can announce things to you. It can, so it can automate so much, basically turn your life into robotic awesomeness, whatever the fuck I'm trying to say. Okay. So, I love it. And so I am going to try to, you know what I should have done was connect my MailChimp, because I actually have to start some Zap stuff with MailChimp. Okay, so let's see. Does anybody have any any ideas of what you would like to see zapped? I'll show you what some of my zaps are so you can see to get some ideas. So remember when I said that Calendly alerts me via Slack? Slack is how I talk to my assistants and how I, let's see, I will show you. Let me show you a channel that I'm not going to regret showing you. I say a lot of weird shit. All right, cool. Slack is, I'm sure I talk about Slack in here. So Slack is another app that I use, which is part of this whole automation and presentation and stuff. So I might as well talk about it right now. Slack is how I speak to my team, or how I keep organized communication with my team. Slack is how I keep organized communication with my assistants. And it is probably one of the best things to happen to my business. It took a long time to wrap my brain around it. I wouldn't say a long time. It was very intimidating at first, okay? But once it clicked, by God, it clicked, okay? And how it clicked was actually my assistant gently like pulling me into it. And all she did was create more channels as soon as I would have an idea about something. So first, when you create a server, or a team is what it's called, or a workspace, that's what these are. It just starts with one channel, and I think it's called general. These hashtags are all channels, okay? And it starts off by saying general, okay? That's your only channel that you've got, and everybody is a member of it, all right? So I'm like, all right, what is this? What is this all about? Then you start talking about something, a lot about something, and then she would create a channel for it. So I started realizing, oh, video editing, video ideas. You know, this is my company, Virtuplicity. Okay, well, we need a whole channel about our clients, our training, our website. My That Broker Girl website, my WTF Wednesdays has its a whole channel. We got to talk about it. You know what I mean? YouTube, our Zoom recordings, my USMC birthday bash. I mean, that's a huge ass event. Like it needs its own channel. And when you have your virtual assistants that you're leveraging, by the way, you don't just have to have them doing your real estate pigeonhole stuff. You can have them help you with a lot of things, you know, and all kinds of different things. So like my assistants, we have priority channels set up. So like they have all kinds of shit that they have to do, but how do we know from each other what is priority? So I even have them set a priorities channel for me. Like, hey, Sandy, I really need this from you. So we all have these priorities channels from each other or to each other. Newsletter channel, which is my newsletter, and it's tied directly to MailChimp. So every time I get a subscriber, I get a notification, and then it has all of our stuff. But check this out. You can bookmark things at the top. of every channel. And so for instance, Google, and I always take it off of here just to make sure that I don't have anything crazy going on here. All right, cool. All right, cool. So this is my Google channel, and up here, so like, you know, when somebody's like, oh, I want to give you a review, and I'm like, I don't have those links off the top of my head, right, guys? So here's my request a review link. Here's a link to my Google reviews. And then here's something amazing that my assistant set up for me. On Google, it's a link to all of my like sold properties. Like, I don't know how she managed to set that up, but like, these people just are insanely awesome. Anyway, she just randomly set that up. So I put that into the Google thing as well. If you start getting a bunch of bookmarks up here, you can throw them into, you can create a folder and then throw them in and start, you know, messing with them that way. I have account info. If you see a padlock next to something, that means nobody in the entire Slack, like on your whole team in your Slack, can see that channel except for anybody that you invite into it. So this has a lot of my passwords and stuff, and nobody can see any of that information unless I invite them into that channel. Affiliate info, you know how I was talking about links and stuff, like, hey, I've got a link, I've got a referral link. This is all my referral links is in that affiliate info channel. Bonus structure is how I bonus my assistants, and we talk about things like that, you know. So it's just, I mean, look at all those. Like, every time I have an idea, I throw a channel. But what's cool is Slackbot, again, I have to take it off and see what I had it do. Okay, cool, we're all right. So Slackbot is your friend, okay? You will hit any message. So if I go back up to, where the hell was I? Okay, this safe one, right? So I go over here to more actions, and I'm like, remind me about this message in 20 minutes. Slackbot will hit me and say, you asked me to remind you about this message, and it will hit me. And I click on it. I can either mark it as complete, snooze it, remind me next week, whatever. It will hit me with whatever I want. Ask me. But what it'll also do is, I created all these other channels, and it's like, hey, you created these channels, but you never use them. Do you want to archive them? So it keeps you honest and it keeps you organized. Okay. So there's my pitch on Slack. And it also ties in all these apps that I use, Trello, Asana, all these things that I was talking about before. Google Calendar, 10 minutes before the Iowa coffee chat or what, WTF Wednesday, 1 minute before, it'll like ding me, and I'm like, oh, I know I need to log in, you know. So it keeps me honest on that. But back to Zapier, it will tie into Slack and be like, we know that you want an alert into Slack when somebody books a Calendly appointment with you. So I have so many things hitting my Slack, because Slack, I have it on my phone. I have it alerting me with everything. I can not voice text. You can voice to text on Slack, but I voice message on Slack if I'm driving. I'm like, hey, I want you to start an offer on blah, 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 blah. I just finished showing. Here's the terms, blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? So yeah. I'm trying to think of just doing a Zap, but I guess we're running out of time. So let me see what other genius things are for automation. There's the Slack for the bots and integrations, like I was talking about. And I guess leverage is the last thing that we'll talk about, which is what I've been talking about this whole time, which is, leveraging your time. Definitely automate as much as you possibly can. Do not be afraid of technology. Technology is your friend. I will do another actual Zapier training. I just want to come prepared for you guys. I don't want you to watch me fumble fuck my way through it. So let's do that eventually. I'll set that up for you. I don't, I've only just now started like saying word of mouth about Virtuplicity. But it is my virtual assistant company, and it is a more custom designed virtual assistant company. It is not, just cranking them out Walmart style. We meet with you, we find out what your business needs are, and we go out and headhunt them exactly towards your needs. And then we find out like what level of service you need based on your business needs, basically. So I am saying that because having a virtual assistant, January 28th, 2021 was when I got my first virtual assistant. And we went through some growing pains, but it completely not only changed my business, but completely changed my life. And however, there were tons of things and lessons that I learned throughout the process that I hammered out and ironed out so many things. I want to, I guess, pay it forward and have other people learn this shit up front. And we're already really good at it. It's already going really well. So if you guys need a virtual assistant or you're looking into it, come to me first and I'll show you what's up, and let me know what your needs are. And what else is different about us is I coach you on the client side, and Karen, my head virtual assistant, continuously trains and coaches the virtual assistants on the virtual assistant side. But I also have so I kept building out, I don't just have one virtual assistant, I have a team of virtual assistants. So my social media manager continuously trains the social media managers. So they keep leveling up, they keep bringing value back into your business and things like that. That's what is different about us. They keep getting support, so that it is just a different concept. And we cut out the middleman. We are a placement company. You pay us, the fee up front, and then it's between you and your virtual assistant, but we still offer the support and the coaching services. So that is Virtuplicity. My company's name is Virtuplicity. I don't know if I said that, but I'm sure you saw it in my Calendly link stuff. So that's me, guys. I'm that broker girl. Any questions on any of the stuff that I covered? No? Fuck me, I guess. Just kidding.
Sandals, I think each one of those could be its own class.
Yeah, definitely.
So much. There's so much to each one of those.
Kate, I had to cover down on this in 15 minutes at that synergy group.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And I did. I think I did it in 18 minutes. I went lightning speed.
Well, that's why I tuned in today, Sandy. It wasn't near enough time to cover any one of those topics, let alone all 5 I think you covered. So I'm definitely glad I found the link to this one today.
Thank you. I'm glad that you attended. I'm glad because you didn't get a hold of me, and I was like, well, shit. So I'm glad to see you again.
Yeah. I just I never did. You're right.
Yeah, so make sure you text me and I hope you come down for the birthday too.
Yeah, is that next Friday?
Thursday,
Oh, you're actually doing it on the
Our
birthday. Okay,
birthday.
awesome.
yes. Don't miss it. So yeah, thank you guys for coming. And also, if anybody missed it, next week's episode is titled, okay, Ryan Van Dale is doing a takeover, but I'm gonna attend. And because I asked him to do it because I really, really I want help with video editing. And he has amazing video editing and video app skills, and I love reels and TikToks and shit. So WTF Wednesday, video apps and editors that are easier than your mom's way of doing things.
Jesus.
So you're welcome. All right, guys. Well, I'll let you go 4 minutes early, like your teacher, bell's ringing.
Thank you so much, Sandy.
All
I
right,
love
thanks
you
for
a lot.
coming. I'll
Yeah,
see you
thanks, Sandy.
next
This was
week.
great.
Yeah, I'll be in touch for your Virtuplicity business.
Okay, cool. I'll shoot you the text for that link.
Perfect. Thank you.
All right. Bye, girl. Bye,
See you.
everybody.
Take care, guys.
Thanks.